Stupid Garbage Podcast.
Oh, I like that.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
How you doing, kid?
Oh my god. I'm so hot.
Great.
And, just recovering from last night's recording that failed, so.
Recording. Yeah, we did a mini-sode.
We did it
Didn't
in bed.
take.
It was very
Maybe
cute.
it was haunted. This will be what lets you come back as a ghost.
Oh my god.
Jessica has a theory that any person who witnesses or is tangentially related to any death gets to come back as a ghost.
No.
Yeah.
We were...
I had audio recorded evidence. Someone sabotaged it.
Deleted itself. Here's the thing. Robert was speculating, what do you think would...
I wasn't speculating. I asked
Robert
you.
asked. Yeah, you're right.
I asked you a question.
I speculated.
Yeah,
Robert
your
was asking,
answer was batshit crazy.
Robert was asking what the requirements would be to come back as a ghost. And I was like, there are two types of ghosts. Ghosts. There are two types of ghosts. And one of them is the people that have unfinished business.
Sure.
And one of the other type is people that want to haunt. I don't really know where the line is.
No.
But then when I was talking about what unfinished business was, I was explaining if you witness a murder.
You know, like your brother gets murdered and you're trying to figure it out, but you die before you solve it.
Yeah, I feel like if if your immediate family, a best friend,
your best friend,
an animal that you own.
Okay, in all the ghost lore or popular culture, movies and TV shows and shit, say you get murdered, right? I have to find out who your killer is.
Yeah.
And in aiding that, you might come back to communicate from the beyond. If I'm still trying to figure out your murder and I die of tuberculosis, I don't get to come back to solve how you died.
Of course you do.
No.
Also,
it is
okay,
first
so
hand, first degree, 0 degrees of separation from your own death.
This is a little dark, but let's say your brother, instead of being murdered, was just molested or
Good God.
kidnapped or something. And, you know, if you witness that and you know who the abuser was and then you die, I think you get to come back and be like, hey, mom and dad, this is what's happening to the brother.
Okay. I don't know why both of you and your sibling are dead and your parents are still alive. But
No. I'm saying my brother wasn't dead.
Right.
He was
No.
just
So here's the thing.
Or
I would say a couple of things. One, you don't, if it's not death related, you don't get to come back as a ghost. Obviously, you don't die, so you can't be a ghost. But you can't.
I don't know.
You can't if you have. I can't say I want to solve the Kennedy assassination. Thus, I can stay on this earthly port.
Those are the rules.
You just said best friend 90 seconds ago.
Or best friend. Here's the thing.
Kennedy was a friend to us all.
I'm just
Princess
curious.
Di was the people's princess.
I'm just curious as to what the second type is. Like
Second type of what?
I have no question about the first
the
type
ghosts
of
who come back just to haunt?
Yes.
That's not a thing either.
Yes, it is, because you have ghosts that are haunting houses and stuff.
Because they have unfinished business or ties to the... Yep.
So if you're a ghost, right? Again, I don't know what Casper's deal was. I'm trying to think, because he's the only ghost that I know who they use the term unfinished business, but I think, like, if you...
You know my theory about Casper.
What did you say?
He was the first child rapist, which is to say he was a child who raped adults.
Oh, yeah.
Died before he could get his fill.
I went on this whole
That's
tangent
his unfinished business. He has to rape more people.
There was a little person.
Yep.
Who I'm pretty sure they loosely based a movie on.
Right. So I read the Wikipedia for the movie, the 2009 movie.
With the weird hair girl.
Orphan.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her hair, but...
She had, like, short, black, straight hair, I think.
She had black, straight hair. Wasn't particular. Whatever. Movie Orphan.
Yeah.
Came out in 2009. Does not say that it was based on any true...
But it was.
No, I
don't think Alien's Wikipedia page is going to be like, this is about Crohn's disease, but it is.
I would think it is. Particularly if it's based on a true story, as opposed to the inspiration for this movie was...
I don't think it was based on a true story. Like, there was this girl, and she was a little person, and I'm pretty sure... There are, like, 3 stories in my head that this could be, but I'm pretty sure there was a woman who pretended to be a child and killed people.
Here's my thing. Here's where this also comes in. None of this, at least the Orphan movie, I don't know about this made-up woman that you're fabricating just for this podcast. I don't know what you're doing right now. But in the Orphan movie, there are no ghosts. It's just a woman killing people.
Exactly.
So how is it relevant to our discussion about ghosts? No one comes back from the dead.
Wait, what did you say?
It's a slasher film,
You said
basically.
that Casper was a child rapist, and I was like, speaking of child rapists, let me tell you about a child murderer.
Got it.
So it's tangentially.
Okay.
Anyway,
tangentially.
That's what I said.
You said fine.
Tangentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, so But the thing is, okay, so when you have unfinished business as a nice ghost or whatever, it's like, I was murdered and I'm trying to see who killed me.
Sure.
You're not haunting a house. You're just...
No, it's still haunting. Just because you're not scaring people doesn't mean it's not haunting.
But I'm talking about the specific scary ghosts that, like, the haunted houses that people go in, they scare anyone. And they try to possess, or whatever the fuck, anyone.
You're thinking of...
But unfinished business is targeted at one person.
Right. You are... I understand this confusion. I understand the confusion. You are confusing the paranormal with the holiday Halloween.
What?
You're thinking of
Halloween?
the what?
Oh my god.
Bitch! What the fuck is happening?
No.
Did you just get tripped up by the word holiday?
Yeah, I was like,
what the fuck?
I thought, okay.
How long have you been speaking English for? When did you come to this country? Let me see your green card.
No.
Let me see your green card.
It's expired.
Get out.
The coronavirus.
I'm gonna have you deported.
I can't renew my green card. Yeah, deport me, Rob. See what happens. You'll be so lonely.
Pull you back to hell.
You'll have a lizard to take care of all by yourself.
I'm sure I'll do a fine job.
He's gonna join me in hell any day.
No, Peaches is immortal.
He really is. He can't die.
Exactly. So, my question to you, and it's an important one. So, I'd ask you pay attention. You're not looking at me and you're yawning right through all of this.
Yeah, what?
My question to you, and it matters, so focus up. What the fuck are you talking about?
About what?
Anything. Ever. Any of the time. All the time. I never know.
I've said this clear as day, like 3 or 4 different times.
Okay.
Like, I'm just...
So you think... You don't know why spooky, scary ghosts are spooky, scary?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Because it seems like there are genres of ghosts that are nice ghosts and spooky, scary ghosts, and then you have, like, what you were saying with the paranormal, like, you have the ghosties, and then you also have demons that seem to be haunting things in places, so,
yeah.
We're not talking about those, but maybe
no.
I'm getting the bad ghosts confused with demons, and maybe there are no bad ghosts.
Yeah. I wonder...
But to your credit, the holiday Halloween does make ghosts all seem bad.
I don't know why there aren't... I guess if it's such trivial shit, they would just move on to the spirit plane. I don't know, but it does seem confounding to me why ghosts are always doing such first of all, why they're doing such severe things. They're always coming back to murder anyone who moves into this house, or why don't you just have a few ghosts who are committing tax fraud or something, or maybe one date rapey ghost or something. What? I'm saying, why is it either you're dead and you move on, or if you come back as a ghost you have to want to kill everyone? You have to want to possess children and make them murder their parents. Why are those the only two? Why are those the only two extremes? Why is there no ghost who just comes back and just is kind of an asshole?
Because he wouldn't have any unfinished...
And wants to fuck a dog. I don't know.
Just because you want to fuck a dog doesn't mean that you have unfinished business.
Forget about the unfinished business. You just said there's a second genre of ghost who comes back just to haunt. They might not have unfinished business. They just want to be ghosts.
Well, I'm saying I'm confused by them. Like, I'm saying I don't understand what their point is. So,
well, fine, but running with that, with that premise of these ghosts may or may not have unfinished business, they just want to be ghosts. Why do no ghosts just want to come back and do I guess Casper is the one example. He's the exception that proves the rule. Although, again, I think he's raping people.
Doesn't that seem like a waste of your supernatural ability to just commit tax fraud? What do you need money for?
You could say that about when you're alive. Go big or go home, Live every day like it's the purge.
No, because we have, like, the prison system and stuff.
But ghosts must have some equivalent there. If you cause too much of a ruckus, you're going to be exorcised. Or
I guess, because
Danny Phantom will come and beat you up. I don't know.
To come and, like, allow you to heaven. So I guess there is some sort of a rule base.
There must be something. Or else every single person will come back as a ghost, like in Coco.
Yeah. Or they would just,
how does that movie go? I don't fucking care. So, yeah.
That was unfinished business, actually.
Well, that one...
Yeah, he couldn't cross over because he had unfinished business. Good call. Good example.
Well, no, because if memory serves,
he didn't have shoes.
The way Coco goes is that you're allowed to come back on the Day of the Dead and visit your whatever relatives or loved ones as long as they remember you, or as long as they build a shrine to you.
Oh.
He didn't have anyone who knew him or remembered him.
Got it.
And so thus he couldn't... It wasn't that he had to solve his own murder or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I guess...
It was that it's a very different set of rules. The Day of the Dead Coco rules make, to me... I mean, it's obviously all nonsense.
And then if no one remembers you, you disappear.
Yeah, exactly. And you go... Yeah, I guess you just disappear and you die again, I guess, which is kind of like that... Is it a Shakespeare quote? I don't know. Where in your second... I don't think it is. The second death is when the last person says your name for the last time.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think people attribute it to Shakespeare, but I don't think it is. Anyway, regardless,
those...
It's obviously it's all crazy stupid and ghosts aren't real, but thank you, yes. It's obviously a Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling vehicle. But not The Big Short. But those rules at least make sense to me because they're consistent. Yeah. I don't know what unfinished business, as you pointed out, unfinished business could mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
You want to solve someone else's murder who was murdered while solving a murder of someone else who was murdered, and then it just never ends. Everyone just gets murdered and comes back as a ghost.
Yeah.
With increasing difficulty connecting to the physical world. I don't fucking know. These rules of memory and you die or you don't, that is at least some consistency.
And I think there are a lot of, different ghost stories have, it's the same thing now, like there are so many ghost movies that were made that each of them is just like, I'm going to create my own set of rules, so there's now no consistency. Yeah, but fuck much like vampires, where it's like Twilight completely fucked the whole vampire thing, where they were like, we actually can go out in the sunlight, we just shimmer. It's like, fuck you can't just make these fucking rules up, dumb bitch. Anyway, sorry. Are you excited for her new book?
What? Whose new book?
Stephanie
Meyer? His new book?
Yeah.
Oh.
Moonlight or some shit, Moonstruck, something really dumb. And
Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and then the new one is going to be called, I think you told me, I looked it up when you told me there was a new one.
I'm pretty sure it was Moon something.
I don't think it was. I thought it was... Goddamn. I guess I'll look it up, because what else am I doing?
But, I don't know when it's coming out, I don't know anything about it. Also, speaking of random,
new Twilight...
fantasy vehicle...
Hold on, before you jump into that. Okay. Breaking... No, that's not it. Midnight Sun. Yeah, I knew it wasn't another moon one. So, just a quick... I think I've told this on the pod before, but a 30-second Greg corner. When we moved into a new house, my mother... Greg was, 5, and he... New room, new place, little kid gets scared at night, said he thought there was a ghost in his room. He didn't like his room, he wanted a new room because there was a ghost in his. And instead of reassuring him
Twilight 2, new room. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. He didn't like his room, he thought there was a ghost. He didn't like the house, he thought there was a ghost. And my mother, instead of reassuring a 5-year-old, as you would, chill. Or maybe he was... No, he was 5. Story. Yeah, she said, yeah, Greg, there probably is a ghost. But don't worry, ghosts usually can't hurt people. That's what she said.
See, where are you getting...
You should call my mom.
Where are you getting this from? Like, what? Why do you get to decide that ghosts don't hurt people? Like, who... Again, there should be, like, at least with the vampires, before Stephanie Idiot Meyer made up all these dumb rules, at least with vampires, it's like, you cannot enter a house without being invited. You don't have a reflection in a mirror. You can't go out in the sun. Like, these are all established vampire rules, and, like, they have little bits here and there. Like, I think the Interview with a Vampire said that you can't cut the vampire's hair, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you cut your hair, it'll grow back instantly. Oh. Because you always are going to look for the rest of your days the way
Tim Allen, the Santa Claus rules.
Yes, exactly.
Evan
you
Almighty
can't shave,
rules.
You can't... Yeah, all that fun stuff. So, that's fine and dandy.
That's a common trope. That's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's not necessary. Like, I don't think that it's going to... But, like, with a ghost, it's like, can a ghost kill me or not? That's a huge differentiation, and it can completely, like, shape the story. Where, like, if I was your brother and I was just like, oh, ghosts can't hurt people, that's nice, and, like, you just would never be afraid of ghosts. But then you run into a ghost as an adult, and you're like, fuck, they can hurt me, and then you die.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well.
I'm just saying it seems like it's kind of dangerous, so wow, this is a little long.
It's a meaty-sode.
Meaty-sode.
But there you go. There's your pencil.
Thank you.
So yeah, I have no theories as to what ghosts are doing. I don't understand why they always do such half-hearted. Maybe it's not half-hearted, but I don't understand in all the media of ghost bullshit why it's always they're peeking around a corner or they're walking through a wall at the opposite end of a hallway. Yeah. Just come and punch me in the mouth. Yeah. I get, they make ghost movies not to be accurate. It's so that you get spooked, but...
Spoop.
Yeah, spook your pants. But, just do... Straight up, just come up and say, like, hey, I'm a ghost. You gotta leave. You gotta get out.
Yeah, like, the one that was,
I guess The Exorcist is kind of like that. But The Exorcist isn't a ghost.
What was that?
It's the devil. It's the demons. Yeah.
What was that stupid fucking movie that we saw with, like, I think they had, like, a chicken coop in their back. It was, like, Annabelle. A sequel to Annabelle or something. It was the newest one.
Maybe the the dolls.
I don't fucking... Basically, there was a girl and she had to, like,
Vagina?
babysit the kid of the Conjuring parents.
Yeah, Conjuring Origins of Annabelle.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
X-Men Origins.
And they had a basement where they keep all of their little trinkets and everything that's possessed. They just keep locked up in the basement.
Yeah, they just have a room for the entire Conjuring cinematic universes.
It's pretty funny, actually. It's kind of cool.
It's so dumb. At least have it in a storage space.
I mean yeah, I think they're like...
Fuck? At the very least, very least, put it in a root cellar or something.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's like, it's safest with us because if someone...
Right, put it in a root cellar under your house if you must.
Oh.
Put it in a way that they get in there because you need one small key to get into the room.
Yeah.
Make it exceptionally difficult
and
to
I'm
get
pretty
into
sure
room.
the ghosties were the ones that let her in the first place. Like, they were like, oh, door's unlocked.
Yeah, maybe it seems like it's a stupid fucking plan.
Yeah, like, maybe just have a cellar
have
that
a shed.
No one knows about. Yeah,
right.
Like, don't tell your daughter, never go in here, just
don't let her know it's there.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about this about, like, when I have my reptiles, if I ever have
And another thing that The Conjuring gets wrong... No, sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking if I ever had a child and I would never want a baby to play with Peaches, I would just, like, have a room in my house that I just never talk about, and, like, I make the kids think it's, like, a boring closet, and I'm just like, yep, this is nothing.
You're gonna be hiding a lizard from your children for a decade?
Straight up.
Well,
because I don't want little grubby hands touching my lizard.
That's fucking crazy. Can you imagine if your parents... If you found a strange room when you're 9 in your fucking childhood home, and you think, oh, what's this? Because you're a kid, you think maybe my parents are secret agents.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe I'm a wizard and they're hiding all this shit away from me, and you manage to break into it and it's just a lizard sitting there in a tank. You'd be, why hide this from me?
I'd be so,
It's just a lizard.
I'd be so excited.
What the fuck is going on?
I'd be like, we have a fucking pet, but then I'd be like...
No, we don't.
Mom, really?
Mom has a pet. I'm apparently not allowed to know about.
Yeah, I feel like it would be way worse. Like, there's one thing to be like, hey, I own a lizard and you're never allowed to touch it. That would be one thing, but it's like, no, I want to just... They never know about it.
It would be the most bizarre... That child could never trust anything, because it would be one... Again, it'd be one thing if you you're a 9-10-year-old and you find out, oh, your parents are hiding the fact that they're secret agents or they're serial killers. You go, I get... Ooh, scary. I get why you hide this.
Yeah.
You're hiding the fact that, oh, I was actually adopted, right?
For your safety. Yeah.
Why the fuck are you hiding something as trivial as having a pet lizard? What else is not being told to me?
If anyone ever hurt Peaches, like, he's more important to me than getting put in prison for being a serial killer.
Like, yeah, your mother's middle name isn't Nicole, it's Diane.
Yeah.
Why fucking lie? What could you possibly stand to gain by having a lizard closet?
If I got, like, a tegu, like a big 6-foot-long lizard...
Yeah, if you...
I would be...
Get a crocodile.
Yeah, I would be more... I would let a kid play with that because I'm like, if anything bad happens in this scenario, the kid is going to get hurt, not the lizard, so it's fine. But if a little child was able to get their hands on Peaches would suffer for it.
You're retroactively gaslighting your children. You are building a time bomb in your own home and their brains.
Well, I'm
because
realizing
as soon as they no
that I'll probably have kids and a lizard at the same time.
Yes, because Peaches is going to live until 2055.
Exactly. So now I'm like, oh shit, I don't want a kid to touch. Like, I'll be like, okay, when you're 12, you're allowed to touch my lizard, but like, they'll probably be dead by then. So I feel like, can I just say?
The lizard doesn't exist.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only solution. Where
You're
it's like,
playing
there's just
with
no
fire.
lizard.
This is so stupid. Also, you check on Peaches conservatively 11 times a day.
Yeah, it's true.
You'd be disappearing into this closet at bare minimum half a dozen times a day.
Well,
and the kid would just watch you. You'd wait until what? The kid's not around?
I'd wait until the kid goes to school, and then I'd take the lizard out all day.
Jessica, come on, this is crazy.
It's gonna be a challenge.
You can't. No, it's not gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be impossible. You can't live a double life.
Like, I always see all these like 20-year-old influencers, and they're like, me and my lizard, nothing's ever gonna come between us. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm gonna have a child to care for. How am I gonna make sure that Peaches gets 4 hours of alone time every day?
Man.
Oh god.
Bitch.
Anyway, so back to The Conjuring. What were you gonna say was the other?
That was just a joke. I have zero. What opinions could I possibly have about The Conjuring?
Well, I was gonna say. I brought it up.
Rather upset. Opinions. I'm rather upset to realize now that I think I've seen 2, perhaps 3 of the Conjuring movies. I'm a little flabbergasted to learn that there are that many of the fucking Conjuring movies.
I think there's like 5.
Yeah, I think they're. I've
seen all of them.
It's like the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, I've seen them all. I do like them. The most recent Conjuring I did find entertaining, and there were elements about it that I was like, oh, that was nice. But to your point, they could have literally killed these teenage girls instantly. And, like, I don't know why the spirits are like, let's fuck with them for a little while and tease them and play with them. Like, if you have the powers of centuries of demonic whatever the fuck, like, you could kill a child in half a second. And it's a child and two, like, 15-year-olds who are arguably also children.
So you know what I said a couple minutes ago about how this, whatever, Annabelle is part of the Conjuring cinematic universe?
Yeah.
It's obviously a joke.
Yeah.
You go to Wikipedia. The Conjuring is a 2013 American supernatural horror film directed by blah, blah, blah. It is the inaugural film in the Conjuring universe franchise.
Amazing.
So apparently...
Well, I mean, that's a...
man, any movie that gets a sequel doesn't get to be... Whatever, I don't fucking care.
I mean, why does a Marvel get to have a cinematic universe?
There are 30 goddamn movies.
No. Where's the line?
What do you mean, no?
Where's the line?
The line is at 8.
No.
The line is at this spans a decade or longer. The line is that Marvel has been around, these superheroes have been around since, the 60s with Spider-Man and...
Fine.
I think Captain America's the 40s. He punched a Nazi. The line is that every single person on the planet knows who Spider-Man is.
Okay, how many Conjuring movies are there?
The line is that every Marvel movie makes $1 billion. There's the next Conjuring movie is going to be The Conjuring, subtitle The Devil Made Me Do It, scheduled for release on...
Oh my god. March 7th.
September 11th, 2020.
Oh, come on.
It's about 9/11. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh my...
The Conjuring North Tower.
I feel like if any amount of thought was put into the naming of that movie and the timing...
It must just be the Friday that's... I don't
care. Don't do that.
Labor Day.
Although I guess, how long has it been? It's been 20 years. 19?
19 years.
Since that fucking happened? Like, maybe calm down. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a full generation.
Let's see. There are 3 Annabelle movies.
I think all right. Cinematic universe is fine.
All right. I underestimated how many of these there were.
Right.
There's The Conjuring.
Are there 8?
There's The Conjuring 2. There's the upcoming The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Uh-huh.
Right, which probably won't be released.
There's only 3 Conjurings.
In a couple months from now because of the whole end of the world. But yes, there are apparently only 3 Conjuring. But there's also the Annabelle series, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, and this says possible 4th Annabelle film.
Is that what we saw? Annabelle Comes Home?
I think so.
Okay, so we're at 7 movies.
Because she was in their house. That would make sense.
Yeah. We're at 7 movies.
We're at 5.
Well, we're at
6
at 5 going on 7.
Ooh, sure. That adds up. You also have The Nun.
Oh.
And the untitled The Nun film TBA. You also have
9. That's 6 maybe going on 9.
6 going on 9. You also have The Curse of La Llorona. And
7.
The Crooked Man, which is TBA. So you have
7 and 10.
7 that have come out, right? And 3. Well, no, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 that have come out, and 3, maybe 4 that are going to be coming out.
Okay.
The Crooked Man, an untitled Nun film, which who knows? A possible 4th Annabelle film, which I don't know. I'd say The Crooked Man and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. You get to count.
Here's the thing. I think that the fact that it's a spin-off makes it okay that it's a universe, because it's like we're going in different directions with this. Yeah, it's fine.
9 movies and maybe more coming.
Honestly,
I'd say fine.
I'll allow it.
The franchise has been commercially successful, sure, having grossed a combined $1.9 billion against a combined budget of $140 million, becoming the second highest grossing horror franchise ever behind Godzilla, which I don't really
they win. They're
call horror franchise. I'd call that a monster film. Thus, Godzilla's not horror. Right?
I don't fucking
You wouldn't call that a horror movie.
I don't know how many genres are recognized here, because,
I mean, Godzilla's not I mean, I guess it would be horrifying
if you have, like, 5 genres where it's, like, action, drama...
Monster film is its own genre.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
But I'm saying if you have, like, the main genres, you have to get kind of, like, niche to go into, like, a monster film. That's like saying, like, superhero films are their own genre. Like, not really, but kind of.
I mean, I would say probably...
Yeah, like, if someone said, like, what would you classify the Avengers as, I'd say it's a superhero film, but if you had to, like, really, really go back to basics, it's an action movie.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. All right, but I don't know.
So I would say that Godzilla, if I had to classify it in, like, the classic way of classifying
I wouldn't call it horror, though. I'd call it something like action.
No, I'd say it was horror. Because it's like a monster is terror. It's meant to scare people. Monsters are scary.
King Kong's not a horror movie.
I think for some
if
people,
you say
what was the whole King Kong thing? Like, I know Godzilla was nuclear or whatever, but
King Kong was just a big monkey.
So there's
No, they never explain it. They just go to Skull Island where crazy things happen. Okay. There are still dinosaurs here, and there are bugs that are 8 feet long, and
Jurassic Park also
bats
wasn't...
that can eat humans.
Although Jurassic Park, I guess, was also... It's horror in the sense that, like, if you don't like to be on edge, don't watch the movie, and I think that's...
Yeah, but you could say that about James Bond or Mission Impossible. They're suspenseful, but that doesn't make them horror necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't think... I call them Godzilla. I haven't seen enough Godzilla movies. I've seen maybe 4, I want to say. I haven't seen enough to... Because I think there are 30 or something.
I think especially
36 films.
The more recent Godzillas, I would say, are more action than horror. Yeah. But maybe the original ones were meant to be really scary.
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen enough of them to be an authority on this, but I don't think a monster... Cloverfield was a horror movie because it was meant to put you in the position of being in the city while it's happening and all that shit. And it, the shaky cam and all that, the jump scares. I don't think Godzilla has all those jump scares. I don't think Godzilla has, and maybe it's just the evolution of but I don't think any movie that has a monster in it. Predator's not a horror movie, right? Alien's not horror.
I don't fucking know, man.
Those movies aren't horror.
Because when you have, like, vampire movies are horror movies.
Some monster movies are horror.
Yeah.
Some horror films have monster elements in them. That's fine.
Like zombies are horror.
The Creature from the Black Lagoon or what, those can be horror movies. That's fine. I'm not saying a monster disqualifies it. I'm saying not all monsters are horrifying. Not all of them.
I think by definition, monsters.
Twilight's not a horror film. Those have monsters in them, right? You can't say that all monsters are horrifying because then Twilight the Twilight franchise has to be horror, which it's obviously not. Thus, there has to be some line, and I don't think Godzilla crosses the line to horror.
That's a very good thought. I don't know how to... Again, I also haven't seen the old Godzillas, but from what I know and what I've heard of Godzilla, it was intended to be a scary horror film. At least in an overarching sense. Like Parasite. Like, it's kind of like, it gives you a sense of unease, and it's kind of like, oh, Jesus, that was pretty fucking intense, but it's not horrifying, and I wasn't,
Godzilla is recognized by Guinness World Records as the longest continuously running movie franchise since 1954 until now.
That's cool.
Several hiatuses of varying length.
What?
Your butthole's in the middle of your back? No. Let's see. First film. Ishiro Honda, yeah. Influential classic of the genre. What genre? Come on, help. Kaiju character Godzilla,
Google
blah 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 blah.
Right,
but if Google saying horror doesn't tell me anything. Why? I want to know why people would call it horror.
I don't think it's going to tell you that.
Well, that's why I'm reading this, Jessica. That's how you learn things.
Never learned a thing in my life.
Yeah, no, I know. Popularity of the films has led the franchise expand. Yeah, no, I know that. First examples of the popular kaiju and tokatsu subgenres of what?
Oh goodness.
Tokatsu.
Yeah, I feel like the monster is a subgenre of the...
Let's see. Kaiju. It's a Japanese genre of film featuring giant monsters.
Okay.
The term kaiju you refer to the monsters themselves, but I think I already knew.
Godzilla can't just be...
Generally...
What's it in the American film industry?
Well, let me... So this is what I was saying, is that monster film is its own genre.
In Japan.
No, man, everywhere. Just like in a slasher film can be its own genre. I wouldn't call those horror movies. Texas Chainsaw. I don't think.
Again, I think it depends on how official we're trying to get.
No, it's the same thing like saying a psychological thriller is a horror movie. I wouldn't say.
A thriller.
Right.
Although I never understood why there was a differentiation between horror and thriller, but whatever.
Because I think there are differences in what they're trying to do. Horror is trying to scare you, whereas thriller or suspense films are trying to create the suspense. They're not trying to make you jump out of your seat.
Okay, well then I would say Godzilla's a thriller.
The Silence of the Lambs is not a horror movie, right?
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a lot of
some movies walk the line.
There aren't many genuine horror movies. Like you have Saw.
No, I think there are tons of them.
Whatever.
You just haven't seen a lot, which
yeah.
is fine.
Yeah.
I think the modern horror is terrible. I don't think it was the Blair Witch Project that started it, but maybe it was. But I think with all the early 2000s movies, the grunge. I hated
that. I did not understand why people are so obsessed with the Blair Witch Project.
What's the other one? The Ring.
The grunge.
The
Poltergeist?
No, I just said the grunge.
I know.
Between...
It's grunge, not grunge. I'm just being funny.
It is the grunge, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not about the Seattle music scene in the 90s. Yeah. So the grunge...
Did you say grunge originally?
Maybe. No, I don't remember. Okay, so we have Kurt Cobain. You have David Grohl. You have, what is that? The Pixies? No, what's that other grunge? Alice in Chains?
I don't fucking
anyway,
know, dude. They're
so with those movies, that I think started the degradation of horror films, where it's all just trying to get you to... It's trying to lull you into a false sense of security so something weird can jump out and some spooky face can make you jump out of your seat.
Whatever.
That's it.
Like The Conjuring is horror, right? Or is
The Conjuring, well, yes. I mean, those movies are horror, okay. But I'm saying that they've hijacked the horror... The Conjuring and the Paranormal Activities and these fucking movies hijacked the horror genre and made them... These aren't good movies.
Is horror
you watch
like
The Conjuring
Scream? Like, is that horror?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because to me, I feel like that's more thriller. Like, I don't fucking know. Whenever there's, like, a serial killer that, like, I feel like the more action is involved, the more thriller it is versus
No, I think after you see a thriller movie, you're not, afraid to turn off the lights. That's kind of the distinction, is that it's supposed to spook you. So...
Okay.
It's supposed to bring a haunted house sort of vibe in a horror movie, right? That's the idea. But just trying to make you jump out. The problem is that these new horror movies are terrible films.
Yeah.
You watch The Conjuring or Paranormal Activity, particularly if you watch any of the sequels. There are, 40 Paranormal Activity movies. They're all the same goddamn film. The same amount of stupid nanny cam, the same amount... It's the same exact fucking movie. And they're all terrible.
Yeah. And
they're all boring. And you jump out of your seat 3 times, and you go, all right, that was 90 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back.
Yeah.
So, Anyway. But I think there are enough monster movies that it gets its own genre.
Whatever.
That would be my argument.
I think it depends on who you're asking as to how many genres exist.
Well, okay.
Like, how many genres are recognized and at what capacity?
How many genres? What would you say are the genres of movies?
Drama.
Sure.
Action.
Sure.
Horror.
Sure.
Thriller. Romance. I don't know why romance gets its own, but I guess like a rom-com counts as romance, but I don't know what the difference is. Anyway, I think those are the 5.
You're not counting comedy in any capacity.
Oh yeah, shit, in comedy.
You're not counting children's movies in any capacity.
No, fuck that.
Okay,
They're not recognized.
All right, so we have.
I guess it depends on how you...
horror, thriller, romance, drama, action, comedy.
Yeah.
Where does, let's say...
Fine children's movies.
Right, where does Toy Story fall into those?
Fine children.
Certainly not romance.
Fine!
All right.
Let's add a kids section, even though I don't... Like the kids movie... Well, like I said,
what about sports movies?
Ew, that's action.
You'd call Rocky an action film?
That's a drama. It's a drama and it blows.
Well, I'm not... Fine, but there are certainly movies that are about... Air Bud is not... Well, Air Bud's a kid's movie.
I would recognize... Like when I'm... Again, if I'm talking to my friends and they're like, what kind of movie is this? I would recognize... like a monster movie. I would recognize superhero. I would recognize paranormal.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think they're...
Or like slasher. Or...
But if say horror and thriller get their own genres, which I think they should.
Yeah.
And kids movies gets its own genre, which I think it should.
Fine, whatever.
I think that sports is a big enough genre.
Okay.
There's so many you haven't seen any because you don't care about sports, but there's so many fucking sports movies.
It could be a subgenre if you really want it to be, but I would not consider sports to be its own genre on like the main level of like the top 7 classifications. I wouldn't count sports as one of those.
I'd have to come back to that because I'm thinking there's so many. Coach Carter, there's
I know
that movie, that stupid Ben Affleck movie we saw, The Way Back.
Oh,
it's a sports movie.
Drama. He's a fucking crippling alcoholic who's trying to get his life back on track, and he uses sports to do it. It's a drama.
Yeah, but that's,
drama.
All right.
I don't know, like
I would bring that up as a point of maybe not that particular movie. I don't care, but I would say that's a point of contention that like Rudy or Radio
you like
or
with the fucking
Remember the Titans
drama.
Yeah, maybe.
I think like a lot of them use sports as a way to block. Like we came together as a team and we learned how to people. But I think a lot of them, like the one that you always talk about, I think has the word league in it or Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams or League of Their Own.
Yeah, so I don't know what those are about,
movies.
but I think those are literally just about baseball.
Well, So League of Their Own is Tom Hanks and Rosie O'Donnell, etc. Based on a true story of a midget who goes around murdering people.
Little person.
Posing as a child.
Oh my God.
No, so it's during World War II, the men had to go fight World War II. People wanted baseball. Women played baseball.
Drama.
You had a female... God damn it, Jessica. It's a sports movie. Field of Dreams
it's like...
Field of Dreams is Kevin Costner builds a baseball field and his father comes back not his father. Shoeless Joe Jackson comes back.
What?
So he builds a baseball field. He finds that there are ghosts. Dreams come to him telling him to build a baseball field in his cornfield. So he builds a baseball field in his cornfield on his property, and then ghosts of famous dead ball players come. If you build it, they will come. That's the line, the tagline of that movie.
If you build it, they will come.
Right. He hears that, I think, at first in a dream.
Wait, I need to make a call out to a movie.
The Sandlot? What?
Remember that movie that has little books in it? Hang on, what's it called? Oh, The Page Master.
I have no idea what that is.
I want to say Macaulay Culkin. It's one of those, like, young, sweet little boys that were really famous in the early 90s. I'm pretty sure it was Macaulay Culkin, but it's very possible it was a different child. But
okay, so Home Alone.
But it was really cute. Basically, like, it's about a boy who ends up getting knocked out in a library, and he goes on this fugue quest to grow a pair of balls.
So,
and
okay.
He's visited by, like, a book. One of the books is comedy, one of the books is one of the books is fantasy, horror.
I was gonna say, does high fantasy count? Because if you tell me that you're calling Lord of the Rings action,
yeah,
that's a bit of a stretch. High fantasy and adventure. Sci-fi is definitely its own genre. It's 100% its own genre. The Star Trek movies or Star Wars, I mean, all of those might fall into these other, but they're sci-fi first.
Yeah.
There has to be some consideration for mystery movies.
Oh my goodness.
Or crime movies.
Yeah.
And then I would say once we get there...
And what are the, like, high classifications of, like, the... Because I'm pretty sure there
I mean, if you want to take a big step back and say you want to do the classical Greek interpretation of any story, you could say it's comedy or drama.
Tragedy?
Yeah.
I feel like, though, like, when... Because there's, like, a very fine line where it's, like, you have a couple of classifications and then very quickly you're adding sci-fi, high fantasy, adventure. Like, it ends up going from, like, 5 or 6 to, like, 30.
Well, I'm saying there are more. That was my entire argument, is that there are more than 5 genres of movies.
No,
even
I
at
agree.
even at the big picture level, once you get any deeper than tragedy versus comedy, you can't go from tragedy versus comedy to kind of tragedy, kind of comedy, tragedy, true tragedy, true comedy. There's no mid-level between 2 genres and 12. There's no 6-genre classification.
I mean, action is also hard because I don't know what it specifically means. Like, obviously, when I think of action, I think of, like, Mission Impossible and
Bad
whatever.
Boys, Transformers, and Michael Bay's made.
Yeah, like dumb fighting scenes. But then, like, Lord of the Rings there's action in it, but I would agree it's
not an
strictly a
action
fantasy.
movie. Right. If someone called Lord of the Rings an action movie, you'd slap him in the mouth.
Yeah, I'd be like,
They're
way
idiots.
to waste my fucking time.
Yeah, go,
like, Star Wars, I would say is an action movie.
Go lie down. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars is kind of weird, but...
It's fantasy. Like, again, if we're opening up... Yeah, that's what I meant. If we're opening up...
It's kind of
fantasy
fantastic.
too.
They do use the Force.
If we're opening up the 30 or whatever, however many whatevers, I would say Star Wars is a sci-fi fantasy action movie. But Lord of the Rings is just... It's fantasy adventure, but again, it gets really convoluted once you open it up.
I think it does get a little, but that's the point. I think,
and it's fine.
That was my argument, that monster movie. If you tell me I have to pick 4 genres to put every single movie in, monster would not make the list.
It's horror.
I would argue though that
unless you're Twilight and then you're drama.
I would argue though that any list that only has 4 items is going to be woefully incomplete.
Sure.
And any list that counts horror as its own genre. Monster is big enough to make that same list.
No.
That's my... Yes. I think you vastly underappreciate or underestimate how many monster movies there are.
Well, I just think they're easily classified into horror.
None of the Godzilla movies are horror. There's nothing about Godzilla, the movies, that's horrifying.
And they're action. I don't fucking know. Look.
No, they're monster. They're monster movies is what they are.
When I become...
They're movies about monsters existing.
All right, I'm going to go start to take those
it's not
free
about
online
action.
courses that they're offering due to Corona, and I'm going to take a fucking... movie classification course.
You go learn HTML in Khan Academy and then you come back.
What? Yeah, so, like, I see all these advertisements that are like, oh, coronavirus, we're giving away classes for free. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I get to learn. And then it's like Python for beginners. I'm like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Let me go back to college for free. What the fuck is this? Let me choose my own classes. Anyway.
Well.
My God. What were we fucking talking about? Oh, God, I lost.
Conjuring. You had a point about The Conjuring, Annabelle.
Oh, no, I just said, like, they could kill the people instantly. So I don't understand why they were fucking with them, but...
I don't either. That was my
Rob and
point.
I hate ghosts.
I don't hate ghosts. I don't...
It's the conclusion of this.
Oh, also, just to go back down this, another potential this I'd say is probably too small a subgenre, but I don't know. Would you say a holiday movie?
Absolutely not.
Christmas movie is its own genre?
Christmas?
Would you say?
No, they're almost always rom-coms.
No, not almost always. Maybe almost always in the 90s.
Maybe almost always the ones that I watch.
Right, yeah. It's a Wonderful Life is not a rom-com.
Okay. And like the Santa Claus isn't a rom-com.
Scrooge.
Okay, you're right. I was thinking like The Holiday with
Oliver
Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz, and then...
You were thinking of rom-coms.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of holiday rom-coms. Like, there's all those ones on the Hallmark and Lifetime channels that are,
Right.
All I Want for Christmas Is
Those
You.
are all usually stupid rom-coms. But
again, I would say that it's like, once we open up the floor to anything gets to be its own
Christmas
genre.
Story, thank you.
Holidays can be their own, it's fine, but...
Yeah, although anyone who tells you that Die Hard is their favorite Christmas movie deserves to be waterboarded.
No,
it's not a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie. You can like Die Hard, that's fine. It's not a Christmas movie.
During Christmas, so it's...
So fucking what?
If I was going to have a Christmas marathon, I would probably say that we get an excuse to watch Die Hard.
You can just watch Die Hard, I don't care. Because then that opens up you could say any movie that takes place in December is about Christmas. Any movie that mentions Jesus Christ. Home Alone's not a Christmas movie.
No, any movie that mentions Christmas. Home Alone is a Christmas movie because
Christmas
there's a Christmas tree in the movie.
So fucking what?
It gets to be
No. Christmas movies are about Christmas. They don't just happen to take place in the same month as Christmas.
If I was going to label a genre to Die Hard, I would not include Christmas movies unless I was like Netflix and just wanted those clicks. But like... if I myself was letting myself do a movie like Gremlins, absolutely a Christmas movie.
I don't remember Gremlins enough to tell you that.
It takes place during Christmas.
I remember her bringing up her dead dad, her dead dumb crackhead father.
Yeah, but they like I'm pretty sure the whole thing is that he got a Mogwai for Christmas.
I don't remember. I'm not arguing whether or not Gremlins is a Christmas movie. I don't care.
Why is your dick out?
Theater of the mind, because I'm about to fuck you with logic.
Jesus.
You're about to get owned by facts. Die Hard is not.
You want a stronger weapon, bigger weapon,
oh,
more powerful weapon? Anyway.
Oh, she got me. Dear reader, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie because it being Christmas has nothing to do with the fucking movie. It's not about the spirit of Christmas. It's not about the holiday. He gets, or she, whoever, his wife, gets held up. I don't really remember that well. But his wife gets held up at the office because it's a Christmas party. But that could be fucking anything. That's not, it doesn't have to be Christmas. It could be just, she's working late. Or it could be, there's some party for someone's retirement.
Do you want to
It being Christmas is irrelevant. It's not about the Christmas message. It's not about miracles of Santa Claus and believing in the holiday spirit. It's none of that. There are just lights on the building and there's a Christmas tree in the office. That doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Do you want to rehash our fight about whether or not The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas or a Halloween movie?
I don't even remember which one of us stood on which side of that argument. Oh, but don't say.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me think. We disagreed.
Do you want to say it on 3?
I said...
Say your opinion on 3?
Sure. 1, 2, 3. Christmas.
It's Halloween.
Fuck!
Sorry, I was like, what? I was so...
What the fuck are you doing? They're not going to believe that this isn't scripted now.
Oh my god.
You're just waiting for what I was going to say, and then you're saying the opposite.
No, I just was like...
Do you just want to fight about this?
It's Halloween.
It's not Halloween. It's Christmas. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
The main character is a fucking skeleton. It takes place in a creepy, scary, spooky world, and they make Christmas goth.
Christmas
but
world,
they
town,
make Christmas in their own style, and they found out that they couldn't execute Christmas unless it was scary.
It's based on a poem written by Tim Burton about this fucking guy who goes to Christmas World and learns about Christmas. The whole arc of the movie is that he becomes enamored with Christmas and fascinated with Christmas.
This is a sub-theme, for sure.
No, it's not a sub-theme of the Nightmare Before Christmas. No, it's not.
It's like when you have a hero and they have a love story. The movie isn't a love story, but the hero falls in love. It's like, okay, great. That little thing also happened.
So I would argue, let's say we have a movie that's... So, would you say that the movie Big, wherein do you know the movie Big?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks turns into...
There was
young man turns into Tom Hanks.
in my hometown.
Right. At Rye Playland. So, would you say that movie is more about the little Tom Hanks or the big Tom Hanks?
The big Tom Hanks.
Exactly. Jack Skellington turns into Christmas-obsessed Jack Skellington. Yes, the whole arc of the movie... If there was a Nightmare Before Christmas prequel, it would be a Halloween movie. The whole arc of this movie is that he learns about Christmas, he becomes fascinated with Christmas, and then he wants to make Halloween Town more Christmas-like.
I know, but then he basically just makes Christmas more Halloween-y.
Right, but that's because he's heavy-handed and doesn't understand the themes of it. He learns about the miracles and the joys and the happiness that Christmas brings. It's. I'm not saying there are no Halloween elements. I'm saying it's 65.
No.
I'll even say 60. I'll meet you a little bit halfway. 60% Christmas.
I agree it's 60-40, but the opposite way.
No, absolutely not.
It's Halloween.
This is just like the Princess Bride thing all over again.
The Princess Bride is a chick flick through and through.
First of all, there's another genre of movie, you dumb bitch. Second of all...
Well, no, it's a romantic... It's romance.
It's romance. Okay, fine. So all chick flicks are romance?
They're like a romance
comedy mix. Bridesmaid. Okay.
Bridesmaid is absolutely... It's a chick flick, but it's not a romantic comedy.
It is a romantic.
It's not a rom-com. It's just...
Okay, so then chick flick is its own genre. You're proving my point. That's the point I'm bringing it up to make. You shut your mouth. The Princess Bride is not a chick flick.
Let's say our opinion on the Princess Bride on 3.
It's not a chick flick. The Princess Bride, as I have tried to explain to you, as we've taken these wide sweeping surveys of dozens, maybe hundreds of people at this point. Most guys, 90% of guys say it's not a chick flick, and
that's because guys are considered gay if they watch chick flicks and like them.
It's because they like the Princess Bride, and so they think, well, I like this movie, thus it's not a chick flick.
Exactly.
But
they're idiots.
Okay, so women still say about 3-1. About 70-75% of women still say it's not a chick flick.
We need to
women
stop
who are allowed to like
randos at Target.
No, we ask everyone, Jess. We asked 20 people at a party last Halloween. We asked your parents and my family. We asked everybody. Everybody says it's at this point it's probably 4-1 in my favor. It's not a chick flick. It doesn't have. There's nothing about it that's a chick flick.
More fantasy than chick flick.
It is fantasy. It's action. He's the Dread Pirate Roberts.
No, but the romance is such... Legend is basically the same exact movie as A Princess Bride. Listen, it's a love story and love is driving the entire movie, but there's a lot of action and fantasy elements.
I haven't seen Legend.
Adventure.
So
can we please watch Legend, Rob?
That's irrelevant, please. Jessica, you keep sidelining every single conversation.
Let's do a review on Joker. We watched that last night. No. I think that because love is the overarching... It's like, love is the reason why the hero does everything.
Yeah, but you could say that about... You could say that about Die Hard. No. Well, can you say that?
No. This man just so happens to have a wife.
Yeah, that Die Hard's a bad example.
Fuck you.
That Die Hard is a bad example. But you could say that about a lot of different... You could say that about... saves the one he loves... kind of Terminator, I guess. She's trying to protect her son. That's the whole thing she's doing.
But her life is threatened because she's being killed. Her son isn't being killed. She's being killed. So she's not trying to protect her son. She's trying to protect her own fucking life, which is why it's not about love. Also, romance is not mother to son. So even if it was about a love, fuck you. Also, that stupid movie Skyscraper with The Rock or whatever, it was very family oriented. His kids and wife were a huge part of the movie. Yes, but again, if he wasn't being threatened himself,
he was out of the building.
His family,
he got out of the building.
Whatever.
He went back into the building to save his family. No.
His family was being threatened. It's not like, he's motivated to get the one he loves. It's like he's just motivated because some dude is trying to murder his family. It's not the same as this dude saying, there's a woman that I love and I need to win her heart. That makes it romance.
No.
The whole movie is him trying to get the girl. Romance.
That doesn't... No, man. There are so many movies that are like that. They're not all chick flicks.
This one is. This is a chick flick.
This one is not.
It's a romance.
You're arguing that... No, man. It's not. You're arguing...
The thing enters, the guy calls it a romance. The guy reading the book in the story calls this story a romance.
No. Forrest Gump is not a chick flick, even though everything he does is about trying to get Jenny's heart.
No, it's not. It's
yes,
also
it is.
He goes to war not to get Jenny's heart. He does
because
a lot
he
of
has
shit.
To. Yes, it's the same thing as the Princess Bride.
Does a lot of shit.
No. This is the dumbest fucking argument.
And again, the fucking grandpa who's reading this book to his grandson is like, this is the most romantic story you'll ever hear, and the kid's like, ew, kissing, whatever. It's
my argument, you dumb bitch, is that a lot of movies, for example, like you brought up Scott the Rock's Skyscraper, I don't know why. I'm bringing up Forrest Gump. I'm saying a lot of movies have elements of romance in them that doesn't make them chick flicks.
This isn't an element of romance. This movie
have
is
heavy themes of romance that are driven by romance. There are a lot of movies that are driven by romance.
This is the only
probably like 30%.
Force.
No, Jessica, there are so many movies that are only driven by romance. There are so many movies where it's about the guy getting the girl.
And those are romance movies.
No, man. No, they're not. It's the motivator of so many goddamn movies, and that doesn't make them all chick flicks.
Like, okay, like Ferris Bueller, like the whole thing is like him and his girlfriend are hanging out, and the girl is like one of the main characters, and it's like a big thing, but it's not a romance because he does his shit and he happens to bring a girl along. It's different.
No.
Forrest Gump just lives his life. And Jenny just happens to be there sometimes. She doesn't even fucking like him. And he's like, whatever. Jenny said no. She's going to go do her thing with her new boyfriend. Bye.
No, just no.
Ugh.
Just no. I'm not going to keep repeating myself over and over again.
Let's watch Legend.
I don't want to do that.
Fuck me. Just let
I've tried to watch it. I've watched the first 10 minutes. It's about Tom Cruise with weird teeth and long hair.
So hot.
Mourning a dead unicorn. It's a fucking weird movie.
Come on. It is. It's really weird. It's a really weird movie. But I don't think it gets better.
Great.
But
awesome.
I love it. And I'll have
So then you go watch it. This is enough. This is enough. See you later, pod racers.
Whatever.